focus of Roundtable India is that freedom through education. In the year 1996, the theme freedom through education was coined, and in the last 20 plus years, we have built 7,890 classrooms, which amounts to one classroom a day. And this has benefited numerous schools and numerous students. One example is the students who perform today. That school also has been built and supported by Roundtable India. Yeah. So yes, Roundtable India is also under Schedule 7 Companies Act. For all the CSR donors who are present over here, we are eligible under most of the activities that qualify for the CSR. So this is the statement that every year we present. This was for last year, so currently we stand at 7,890 classrooms. So recently we also forayed into, these are a few pictures of the schools that we have executed. So the last bottom picture that you see is a school done in Rajasthan, and that school has become a landmark school for the government of Rajasthan for everything related to education, what they publish in their papers. This is the school that they use for branding. And this entire school, that is 12 classroom blocks with a playground and a stadium, was built by Roundtable with the help of trustees of the year 2021. So recently, other than education, we have also moved into healthcare. So HEAL is the theme that we have coined for that. HEAL is something we have segmented it into 4 segments where we concentrate on mother and child, trauma care, intervention, and augmentation for mobility. So mobility is one project which has taken off in a very big way. It's very proud moment to say that it started with Chennai from Area 2, and the first donors who came forward to support that was RRD. Thank you so much. Which started with 50 wheelchair donation for an indigenously built wheelchair at the IIT Incubation Center through a company called as Neo Motion. This is the only company that is present in India which does custom built wheelchairs, which also converts into an electric scooter. This has really transformed lives of the people. After your project, we also got on with multiple donors, and very proud to say that currently we are in the process of completing 375 devices, out of which 170 at the cost of 1.7 crores was done last year. And in 8 states, we are doing 200 devices at the cost of 1.95 crores. So thanks to all the donors and very specifically to RRD for coming forward with this project. In fact, this entire relationship started with that, and this has moved beyond, and it is becoming something much larger and pan-India. During COVID time, HEAL was already coined, and every other activity stopped. Roundtable India functions, we are all business people, we are all at positions in companies, but for those 4 to 5 months, nobody had a job. So our time was also there, and donors were also more than willing to help with respect to anything to do with COVID response. In a span of 1.5 months, 8 emergency COVID wards from 50 beds to 200 beds were established by Roundtable India. A lot of work that was done from foundations such as Sonu Sood, Yahoo, etc. The execution partner was Roundtable India. These are a few pictures of all the work done. Other than COVID response, we also have something called as RTI Kitchen, which is a year-long program, all the tables executed. Whenever there is a calamity or disaster, the first thing that is required is food. And we establish something called RTI Kitchens at different centers and start our food donations. So calamity response is also something that is very, very big in Roundtable. So these are a few places where we have done. In fact, in the year 2005, after tsunami, when the entire rehabilitation work was done in ECR, the only NGO which got an execution partner status from Tamil Nadu government was Roundtable India. There was no other NGO that got allotted from the state government. This year, when Assam flood reliefs happened, in a span of 21 days, we distributed flood relief worth 50 lakhs. And recently, when Telangana floods happened, in a matter of 45 days, we distributed flood relief material worth 50 lakhs. So these are few of our donors. Yeah. So a lot of people might ask why Roundtable India. So these are the few stats that we are ATG 12A compliant. Uh, we are also FCRA compliant. One of the most important aspect that Roundtable India stands for is we are a zero overhead organization. Every single penny that comes into the trust goes towards the trust activities and the activities that are specifically mentioned by the donor. Our entire office, our entire day-to-day operations are taken care by our own expenses, which we pay in the means of dues to our national movement. So if I am not wrong, I am not sure, but we are one of the very, very, very few NGOs where not even a single penny is taken for the operations. In fact, at this moment, I would say that we are a force multiplier, wherein we add on to our time, our money, and make the project much bigger. A classic example is that our long-term donor is Procter & Gamble. What started off as 70-30 partnership, wherein 70% is given by Procter & Gamble, today is at 30-70, where we put in 70% of our funds and 30% is given by Procter & Gamble. This is also very well highlighted in their balance sheet every year. The quantum that they give is something around 5 to 7 crores. But whereas if you multiply it by 3.5 times, that is the amount of CSR that they would be executing, and that is highlighted every year in Procter & Gamble balance sheet. So one of the most unique things is that the presence and our force multiplying factor, and since we all are from different business backgrounds and professions, the speed at which we can get the work done. Any project, any kind of execution, any donor requires, which aligns with our ethos and which aligns with our projects that we do it, we are more than happy to take it up. So yes, that is about Roundtable India, and along with Roundtable India, most of you would know that our wives are part of Lady Circle India. So they are also very, very instrumental in execution of all these projects. We always partner with them in terms of partnership. What we mean by that is, if we are building a school, they take care of sanitation. So Lady Circle India also plays a very big role in that, and thank you so much for that. On this note, I request NVP Cheryl to give a brief on LC.
Everywhere the branding says Roundtable India as well as Lady Circle India. So in the literal sense, Lady Circle India is married to Roundtable India. So only the wives of Roundtable India joined Lady Circle India. So all the members of Lady Circle India are the wives of Roundtable India. There are still a few tables that do not have the Lady Circle India, and we have around 2,000 active members, and with a presence of around 149 plus chapters in 65 plus cities and towns. We, as Santosh mentioned, the infrastructure part of it is usually looked after by Roundtable India. So when Lady Circle India actually started, the wives of the tablers thought, how do we help them without actually, this is way back in 1969, how do we actually help the tablers, be a part, and how can we be active? So that's when they actually started Lady Circle India, and we provide all the ancillary features, the ancillary infrastructure to schools and any projects that Roundtable India executes. So say for example, they're building schools, we look after the toilet blocks, we try and work for the infrastructure, we try and look and do skill development that empower women. We also focus on children and education. So a lot of our members, year on year, we actually sponsor the fees of many children who are underprivileged, and they still want to aspire to be doctors, engineers, and they need quality education. So we actually look at sponsoring the education of all these children. In terms of skill development, we actually set up vocational training centers. We have set up centers in... So this is what we have done as Lady Circle India so far. And one of the main focus, so when COVID hit us, what we thought was, all of our kids were sitting at home looking at laptops, education was continuing for them. But then if you actually saw the government schools, all the kids did not know what to do. So that's when we actually decided that we would try to have digital inclusivity. We incorporated it into our program. And what we saw that is even if there is no COVID, even if kids do go to school, most of our children actually have smart classrooms. But when you actually look at the government schools, they're still working on test tubes, they're still working on the physical equipment. There's a lot of things that they miss out on, and these digital classrooms have actually helped bridge the gap between the physical education as well as them being inspired to learning more through the digital infrastructure available. So we've done not only while the roundtable builds schools, we actually also go to existing schools and look after the renovation. We are also 12A ATG compliant along with them, and we have a separate office. Though, like any marriage, we both coexist in the same building, but we still function separately. And our main focus, honestly, is to empower women, because we strongly